I'm in the Philippines right now, and it's under typhoon warning, so you might hear a lot of rain in the background. I'm just here to let everybody know that the Veilfallen hasn't stopped, that I haven't been sending video much lately, but that's because I'm focusing on a particular project. Remember, Veilfallen is about games, board games that I've designed, and the Veilfallen is the story within those board games, or the board games are within that story. And so I'm developing the universe, and I'm getting you guys videos about the stories that are focused on the games that are within the universe. So right now I'm focusing on developing Veilfall on the board game. The original board game is complete, but originally it was supposed to be a four-part series, and I had issues putting the four-part series together because every time I fix an issue with one, then it created issues for others. And so trying to put them all together at once became very complex. So I decided to finish one. Just take the first one, complete it, get everything done, make sure it's functional and it works, which I did not long ago. I considered it completed. But it's not really completed because it's the first part of a four-part series. So once I got that completed, I then took the other three games out and put them out in a row and figured out, okay, now that this one's done, I can now spread it out. You're talking an evolvement going from the original story and creating a 1942 era and then creating a 1969 era. So it's the same game expanded by a couple decades. We've got the town is now a city, and so things need to be compared. The cards and the abominations, the possessions, the phobias, all those have to be interchangeable with the first one and the second one. So now I'm creating the 1969 era. Everything needs to be interchangeable with the first game. Then I'm creating a 2003 era. That one also has to be compatible with the previous three. So all the components within these games can be interlocked and used together. You could choose the era of the board that you play it on, and all the other components can all be played together. And then there's also a 2033 era, which is a little bit more unique, but it fits with the rest of the Veilfallen system. All the cards are interchangeable. The other thing is each era has a little extra dynamics to the rule. Something's going to change each time to expand the playability of that era and also make it more unique. But each of those components have to be usable in any of the other eras, which is what I'm doing, and it's working out so far. It's a lot of work, but that's what I'm working on. I'm putting most of my focus in that, trying to get it, mostly because I want Veilfallen to be unique. There's literally millions of board games out there, and I want mine to stand out. I want it to be something. I also want my games to be loved. I don't want a game to be sitting on a shelf for years, never touched. They play it, they like it, but then it's done. And then you go to the next game. No, my games are all going to be interlinked. You play one, you're going to be playing the others. They're also playable interlinked. You got the Veilfallen series that all the components are interchangeable, all the extra rules are interchangeable. The cool thing about the way I'm doing the rules is each of my you don't have to have rules written in each of the games about the previous rules. The rules are kind of an independent thing. Once you learn about it in one era, it's easily transferable to any of the other eras. So ultimately, it's going to be an easy to understand era by era playthrough on the Veilfall and the main games. Of course, there's each era has games that surround them. Each chronicle has five games. You have the Veilfall in 1942, and then you have Thunder Bridge and Jeremy's Raceway and Trinity's Challenge and the Encounter, and those are the five in that series. The whole series is done. So we're working on the second series, but before I work on that whole chronicle, I'm going to just do the eras. So you're going to have Veilfallen 1942, 1969, 2003, and 2033. 2033 is a little more unique. The others are pretty much the same game with a little extra rule added, and it's got, its own set of abominations, its own set of possessions and phobias and stuff, which can be interused within any of the eras, but it's still unique to its era. But 2033 is the it's the what do you call it? It's the kind of confrontation at the gate. So it's an independent game, completely autonomous by itself, but it also can be played with any of the previous three games as a playthrough of the end. Currently, when you go through any of the previous three, you get to the end of the game and you go to the confrontation. So you're facing this cultist at the end, and he wants the gate to be left open because he believes that it's good for mankind, and you want to close it because you think it's detrimental for mankind. And so you have this little battle. It doesn't take long, a few minutes. He's trying to convince you to keep it open. You're trying to convince him, get out of my way so I can close it. And that little, confrontation, it takes a couple of minutes to resolve if you win or if he wins. And then the game ends. We've already been playing for a while trying to figure out where the gate is and collecting the materials you need to shut the thing down. And so that it's a little process. Well, 2033 is that end process in a full-size game. So you can play the regular game to the end and a few minutes of this confrontation to figure out what happens. Or you could play it to the end and you could pull up this other game and play it to the end, which is a full game of that confrontation. So that's the whole process. You're going from the Veilfallen event in 1942, the Veilfallen event in 1969. You've become a city. It's a bigger place. It's got all independent components, but they're interchangeable. You've got another Veilfallen event in 2003. This one is the city has been decimated. Now it's just this little village surviving. There's new elements in this game at this point because things are evolving the whole time. And you've also got a few more rule elements that happen during this time. And it's got its own abominations, its own possessions, all that stuff's all independent, but it can be combined with any of the previous eras. And then you have the 2033, which is the end game in a playable format, independently playable or used at the end of any of the previous three areas that you want to play with. Anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. It's going pretty good, but it's a little bit slow. And so I'm asking for your patience. I'll try to get some more videos up, maybe some updates on what's going on within each system that I'm working on. And also, if you want to be part of the project, you can join through Ko-Fi. I'll put a link down below. I have set up there a collaborative writing system. So if you want to write for Veilfallen, if you want to be part of it, there's places where you can go discover rumors. You can discover canon for the story. And so more or less you'll be an investigator and you'll be, in a sense, researching this information that the Historic Society sends to you to, kind of research and figure it out. You'll do that through your writing skills and stuff. And then some of that stuff will be considered rumors and not officially, and some of it will be considered canon and be officially recorded in the Historic Society, which is where I store all the story information that's considered factual for the storyline. And there's other roles that you can play there. One thing I do that I don't believe in people submitting information and then just disappears. So we've got the seed nursery there. And so any information that's written, even if we don't use it, is sent to the seed nursery where it can be repurposed. And so you can become the gardener there and take care of the nursery, where all you're doing is organizing the stuff that we decided not to use in categorizing it so it can be repurposed later on. So there's a few other aspects to the writing system also. So if you want to go to Ko-Fi and just check it out, then that would be great. I'll send a link down below. And for now, that's all I've got. I'll talk to you soon. Very soon. Very, very, very soon.